Welcome everyone to the free webinar series, Connecting with Spirit for Life and Business Success. We're almost at an end of the series here, and I'm so thrilled to have Tam Bayou with Get It Up and Keep It Up, Maintaining Your High Vibration. Tam I Am Bayou, which is how she refers to herself, is on a quest to creatively engage everyone in using their personal power to alter their day-to-day reality. Tam is an artist, author, alchemist, and creative strategist whose intention is to positively affect humanity through her mixed media efforts. Her law of attraction tips and techniques are easy to incorporate, and her everyday alchemy methods will help you help yourself to a sweeter life in 7 basic lessons. Through her Sweet Life strategies, Tam encourages everyone to partake in being truly awake each and every day. She understands and teaches that possibility lies in believing you can be, do, or have anything you wish if you know the tools to use. Get ready for Law of Attraction with a little laughing out loud. It's time to get it up and keep it up. Welcome, Tam.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Andrea. I'm so excited to be here today. Before I get into my little webinar, I really want to thank all the lovely women leaders who have participated in this webinar. Andrea Bowden put together a fine group of women. I'm so excited. So Andrea, Marie, Heather, April, the 2 Jennifers, and Lisa, thank you so very much for your support. And you know what? Today I also would say I thank God for giving me the guts to be me, to be authentic. And I guess I'll make a little side note here. Lisa Capehart just taught living authentically, so kudos to you, Lisa. And as we get going, we of course have to do the little fine print stuff. And this is where I make a little disclaimer that, you know, I speak really fast and I cover all the legal schmeagle and all that stuff. So hear ye, there is no disclaimer. You are here on this call because you want to be. You opted in. And look, I'm here because I want to be, and because Andrea invited me, of course. The only person who is responsible for what happens with this information that I give you is you. I can tell you how to raise your vibration. Andrea can teach you about living with passion. Lisa can teach authenticity, on and on and on. We all have a message for you, but it's really, really up to you what you do with your life. The law of attraction says that we create our own reality. And I just want to remind you of that. You are responsible for the outcome. So with that being said, and I said there's no disclaimer, I'll just say this. You hold the master key to your life. My suggestion is that you use it. A couple of little housekeeping things. Feel free to contact Andrea if you have a question at any point during my webinar. I'm really happy to interact. I'd like this to be as interactive as possible. If you have a comment, make it. If you think I'm being silly, say it. If you think I'm getting too serious, I'm okay with that too. Please just let Andrea know. I think we've worked out that there is a little area that you can type into. Andrea will receive that information, and we're just going to get right into it. Feel free to ask questions. I'm excited about that if you ask a question. Now, don't do it yet, Andrea, but this is my little signal that we're going to go ahead and change the slide so that I'm not having to say her name all the time, and she can just hear that bell and she'll click and advance. Now, we are entering a no cell phone zone. Feel free to focus on this presentation. Shut your cell phones off and really give this 100% of your heart and your mind and focus. I mentioned earlier you can feel free to tweet about this exciting event that we're getting on. And you know, because Andrea told you, I'm artist, author, alchemist, and Sweet Life strategist. So being that I'm an artist, I tend to be very visual. So you're going to have a lot of slides coming up. I hope you don't mind, but that's just how I operate, okay? With that being said, that was for you, Andrea. And she's going to advance that slide, and here we go. My goal in life is to positively affect humanity. I myself have been building my relationship with God. I've been working on my own sense of spirituality and what that means to me for just about 12 years now. I have had my personal dark night of the soul. I believe that everybody goes through this at some point in their life. And for me, been there, done that, had a little chat with God. We've decided I don't need another one. So I'm going to move up from here. I've had my dark night, and now I know how I feel about my relationship with God, and I know the importance of it. So today, my goal is to goad you into getting it up and keeping it up. And ladies, I'm talking about your vibration. I purposely named this in a creative way to get your attention. And let me tell you, I've gotten plenty of attention from people around town who are saying, get it up and keep it up. What the heck? If it got your attention, then good. I'm so happy to be presenting at this seminar, and I'm ready to get going. So here we go. I've got the acronyms, love them or hate them, LOA and LOL. I'm not going to talk about the LOL piece. If you happen to laugh out loud, that's a bonus to you and a bonus to me. LOA is an acronym for Law of Attraction. And I got to tell you, going back to that LOL thing, I want you to know that spirituality, in my mind, does not have to be serious and solemn. Is it important? Absolutely. Does it have to be serious? No way. And going back to my dark night of the soul, if you knew the dirty details, you'd say God is a comedian. So he's got a sense of humor. She has a God sense of humor, and I appreciate that. And I want you to learn to let go and laugh a little and make your life fun. I hope that this presentation will help you to relax around the law of attraction. So what I'm going to do is give you a real basic overview of law of attraction. I know that Marie Tucker has already covered this information in her presentation, and I'm pretty sure that most of the other presenters spoke about it at some level. So I'm not going to go deeply into it, and I'll say this. I'm not a quantum physicist, nor do I play one on TV. However, if the Bravo Network contacts me, I'm in. That's all I'm going to say. So the underlying premise of the law of attraction is that everything is energy. Everything is energy. This means that you, the human body that you are, this is your shoes, your desk, plants, food, animals, television, you know, everything. There's no exceptions to this. We are molecules. Molecules are cells. Cells have photons, etc., etc., etc. Now we're getting into that whole quantum physics, metaphysics, science stuff. I'm right-brained. I don't do that left-brain stuff so well. But everything is energy right down to photons and neutrons. It becomes invisible in our atmosphere, but it's an energy. These photons, neutrons, all these little tiny scientific parts vibrate. And guess what? Vibrations have frequencies. So I said it, thoughts are things. And things have energy. And energy vibrates. And vibrations have frequencies. I know I'm reading that and you can read that, but I have to say it. So now the question becomes, how do we create these vibrations and frequencies? And here it is. It's all about our feelings. Our feelings are what creates the vibration and the frequency. All right. So you can only attract things that are vibrating at the same frequency as the majority of your thoughts. So we're going to do a little exercise. If everybody can put down their pen or whatever they're holding in their hand, take your hands, put them palms together. Hold them in front of you, palms together, almost like as though you're in prayer. And now pull them apart slowly to about shoulder width. And then push them back together slowly. And then pull them out slowly till you have a slow wave going from the prayerful position to an open position as though you're holding a ball in front of you. And if you keep moving your hands back and forth, open and close slowly like this, you're representing a neutral thought, okay? Now lower your hands down around your waist or your pelvic region and move your hands even slower and feel the density of that movement. These represent negative thoughts. And keep doing that. And Andrea, this is for you. When you raise your hands up over your head and you move them in and out faster and faster and faster and faster, and suddenly you have jazz hands and you want to keep your thoughts positive. I love this picture. Whoever took it probably had a little too much time on their hand, but isn't that fun? Keep your thoughts positive. So these vibrations that we create with our thoughts, they go out into the ethers. They're all willy-nilly. They're running around. They're looking for other vibrations that have the same frequency. So low-frequency thoughts are fear-based thoughts, and feelings that are joyful and happy have that like jazz hand effect where your hands are shaking and vibrating and in and out and fast. Those are all your love-based feelings. Again, your low vibration thoughts down by the pelvic area, really slow and thick, anger, jealousy, greed, hate, disdain, disgust. Those are those slow negative things. Flip side, love, joy, respect, all of those jazz hand feelings. I love those feelings. Negativity is a no-no. Get your vibration up and keep it up. And then we're going to talk about how to do that. This is that quantum physics stuff. I'm not going there again. Okay. In my practice of coaching people law of attraction and getting it up and keeping it up, I've broken it down into 7 really easy to remember steps. And I would urge you to go ahead and write these 7 easy steps down.
You do have a question, Tam.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is from Jackie. What about compassion for others when they're in a negative situation?
Ask it again. You're asking from which point of view? The person who's in the negative situation or the person viewing the compassion?
Can you add clarification to that, Jackie? If you're in a negative situation or if it's others?
Compassion to me would be a love-based energy, if that's her question.
So, Jackie, you're unmuted.
Oh, good. There we go. Because I can't type fast enough. I guess I was thinking about, like yesterday, for instance, when the verdict came in for the case that has been broadcast all over Facebook and everywhere else. When a lot of people were so very angry about the outcome of the verdict, but I was feeling that compassion for that lost child and trying to figure out what is the possible purpose of that child having lost the death. And through various messages and communications, I finally came to that state where, well, I had always had the compassion for the lost life, but I also came to that understanding through other messages that it's part of what we need to do for for everyone around us is to, to watch and give a hand when people when you recognize that other people are overwhelmed. And that would be part of my own path in life, I guess, is to assist other people when I see that they are overwhelmed. And so that for me becomes a space of compassion, but obviously for them it's not. Because they're in the negative vibration.
So,
well,
Tam.
I certainly hear what you're saying. I think, Jackie, that you are going at this with the exact right approach. The case that you're talking about, that we all know about, somebody has committed a terrible crime and somebody feels like they weren't justified in the answer that was presented. But the more that we can look at people through compassionate eyes, or as I would say, through the eyes of Jesus, everything is for a reason, and there is a purpose to this. And maybe the purpose is for the masses to figure out compassion. I'm not exactly sure if there's a question wrapped up in your comment, but I think you're exactly on target. If we can look at the whole situation through compassionate eyes, that is a love-based vibration. Another
Right.
short story to go along with that. Remember when recently a Middle East leader was killed? And American people were throwing parties for that. And I got to tell you that somewhere in the Middle East there were people who were heartbroken about this leader's death. And for us to celebrate that kind of thing feels very unbalanced, at least to me. I think if we can just stay neutral about it, or keep it at that love vibration. Anything up above neutral, anything over a 5 is where we always want to be. We can't damn somebody else because we don't know their perspective. And it's always about perspective. Remember, if one thing happens with 10 people watching it, you get 10 different perspectives of what happened. So,
right.
Did that help or hurt?
Yeah. I guess what I was trying to say is it would have been so easy to just get caught up in the anger, because there was so much of it being posted yesterday, and it would have been really easy to buy into that. But I was I just kept looking for, what purpose did the loss of this little life serve, and through other messages I was able to actually make peace with it and know what it is I can do to try to prevent that from happening again.
All you can do is keep sending the situation love and hope that more people catch on to your thought process of sending compassion. All you can do is make your light as big as it can be so that others catch on.
Right.
We only can control ourselves. Thank you for the comment, though. That's great.
Okay.
So going back to the slide that we're at right now, this is the 7 basic steps of law of attraction. And because that was a great long interlude, you hopefully have had time to look at these. And it's about knowing what it is you want. It's about asking. Some people know what they want, but they actually forget to ask for help, to ask God, to ask the angels, to ask the universe, to ask themselves, to ask others. Know, ask, let go. This is a hard one. Let go of the result. Go play. Go have fun. Let flow. This is part of letting go, but go with the flow. You can't know the plan. You can't. I tried that game. It doesn't work. So let flow. Go with your life. Take the next step as it's presented to you. Key is believing. You cannot receive what you do not believe can happen. So for those of you who are out there who are saying LOA doesn't work for me, you're wrong. LOA works every single time. If you're not receiving what it is you asked for, then there is a belief within you that needs to be removed. And that is really a key part that a lot of people don't want to go into. They don't want to get into their belief system and look and see either what was modeled for them or what old belief system they were taught. it's all about digging into those beliefs and figuring out why they can't receive it. If you're not receiving, it's because at some level you're not believing. So believe first and then receive, and always, always, always give thanks. And really, if there were one rule to triggering the law of attraction to work for you, give thanks. Gratitude is the key. Everybody holds the key because it's gratitude. One of the biggest things you can do to raise your vibration is to live in the abundance paradigm. Now, Bernard Beckwith teaches that the best. I'll say that again. That's Michael Bernard Beckwith. He teaches about living in the abundance paradigm, and it's the truth. When you are sitting over your coffee in the morning and you're looking at your bowl of Cheerios and you're thinking, God, all I have is these Cheerios. Start counting them. How many little Cheerios are in your bowl? How many are in the box? How many gazillions of Cheerios have they produced around the world? Oh my gosh, it's abundance at one level. The quart of milk you used to pour into that bowl of cereal, the milk that is produced across the world is abundant. Find abundance in everything you do and be grateful for it. Give thanks. So there you go. 7 basic steps to LOA. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, right? We're going to assume that all of you who are listening want to go from good to better to best. All right, you've already been at the bottom, and now you're pulling yourself up. You've made this mind shift, and now you are ready to go for the goal, okay? First off, congratulate yourself. I love to do this. Everybody raise their right hand, put it right near your face. Raise your right hand. Okay, now extend your arm up over your head. Bend it back to your neck and pat yourself on the back. Congratulations just for showing up for this webinar today. You're taking a forward step. So congratulations. It's time to live your big life. Your vibration's up. You've got your jazz hands going on, and now we're going to keep it up. All right. Rule number 1, mind the monkey. Isn't that little monkey so cute? All right. Your mind is also known as your ego, and this ego has a job, and its main job, its main function is to keep you down, all right? So this is why our minds run off at the mouth all the time. You know, it's that little voice inside your head that says, you're too tall, you're too short, you're chunky, you're stupid, you're broke all the time, you're not capable. All these little on and on and on words that come out of your mind all the time. The monkey is the one who asks you the questions and then answers them too quickly before your soul, your true, perfect soul, can speak to you. The monkey is the one that says, who do you think you are to be running for the town school board? And then it's going to answer you, again, really quick before your soul will answer. It's going to say, you are no good, and you're dumber than dirt, and you're never going to be able to get that school board job. So the monkey is the one that chatters at you all day, all day, all day. It's your number 1 job, starting today, to control your thoughts. Day in and day out, you should be taking time to control this monkey. Make it be a kinder and a gentler monkey. If it's going to be a monkey, make it be kind and gentle, right? Allow your mind to ask you questions, but then very quickly allow your bigger self, your higher self, your beautiful soul self to answer with love and kindness. You deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve to know our truth, and our truth is that we are the most beautiful spark of God there is. Allow your mind to answer from that part of yourself, okay? So stretch your muscles, practice minding the monkey. Rule number 2, my dad taught me this one. I got to give my mom credit too, but I heard it the most out of my father. I used to hate hearing my father say, "Fake it till you make it, Tam." Oh man, I wanted to wring his neck. Okay, I know it's a little strong for me to say that, but it's true. You know, what do I know when I'm 16 years old and I don't want to feel like cleaning my room and I'd rather be doing something else, and he's saying, "Fake it till you make it, Tam. Get going." So I took this to heart as I got older. Probably when I was 16 I wasn't very nice about this, but look, the rule about faking it till you make it means, you know, when you're smiling, when you're pretending to be happy, it's not long before those little sparks of vibration that come out of that pretend smile go out and gather with another spark of a pretend smile. And the next thing you know, your smiles are very real. I can't say this enough. Pretend for a while. It becomes natural. Apply this to anything that you're doing. Do you have to write maybe a business plan and you hate that part of business? Maybe you're a really creative person and you need to do something that's, you know, very left brain, like writing a business plan. So you fake it. You sit at your table and you pretend that you love writing a business plan. You pretend that using all this high-end language and this technical material is going to be a lot of fun. You pretend that you love writing a business plan. This puts you on the other side of 5. It puts you on that up end of the vibrational scale. All of a sudden you've gone from angry to neutral to, this isn't so bad. And all of a sudden you're kind of curious, you're kind of interested about how you can make this business plan better. Next thing you know, you've made it. You did it. Fake it till you make it. That was for all of you. And the next rule, this is sort of cool, and this is a real big one. It's the rule of 1. And this is rule number 3, but it's all about the number 1. So this is about knowing oneness. What I'd like for you to do is acknowledge and recognize that there really was one energy that created the earth, the microorganisms, the water, the plants, rocks, trees, all of that. One energy created us, humans. Everything is one energy. So when you acknowledge this divine energy that makes up the world, you can't really look at other people with anger or hate. You cannot really look at somebody and say it's their fault, because it also has to be your fault too. When you look at this oneness, you have to say, if it's not good for one other person, then it really is good for none. Imagine really if everybody made their decisions based on the theory that if it's not good for one person, then it can't be good for anybody. So just to reiterate, one energy created everything, and that same one energy creates your reality. Every one thought that you have adds to the collective. It adds to your personal collective. It adds to the world collective. So get on board with that thought as quickly as you can. Whenever you think you're looking at somebody on the lower side of 5, on the lower part of that vibrational scale, know that that one energy is pervasive for everybody. And then try to raise that vibration and get it up to neutral as quickly as you can, and get it on the other side of 5. Get it up and keep it up. All right. Guess what? I want to introduce you to your new friend, the delete key. Now this one is integral when you're figuring out how to mind the monkey. Rule number 1 was minding the monkey. That's the little mind chatter that you have. And this is a great tool. Now almost everybody knows about computers these days. So almost everybody recognizes this little delete key. What's great about this delete key is that you can use it in your physical life, and it actually helps you. So this is how it works. Let's say, for example, you're coming home from work, you look in the passenger seat, and there is the check that you were supposed to mail to the bank for your loan payment, and you forgot to go to the post office, and now it's too late, and your monkey starts giving you a hard time. What the heck? Why can't you remember anything? Why do you always delete? This is where you put your pointer finger up and you push the delete key. You literally point your finger up, and up somewhere up around your vision, you press the delete key and you say, delete, 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 delete. Back it up, correct yourself, and start again. Okay, so you forgot to go to the post office. That's not so bad. It'll be one day late getting to the bank. Hey, good job for remembering now, and if you put it in the mailbox right now, it's going to be fine. You turned around your negative thoughts and you started again. Now, what I really want to express to you is by putting your pointer finger up and by putting it in front of your vision area, in front of your face, you see it with your eyes, and you made a physical movement that will create muscle memory in your body. Every time that you have to lift your hand up near your eye and point and click that delete key, you're reminding yourself that you really don't want to be doing this all the time. When you're shopping at the grocery store, and the first time that you put your hand up next to your face and you say, delete, 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 and you're pushing that button, people are going to look at you. And you're not going to want to have to do that anymore. You're going to want to get your mind chatter under control much, much quicker. So this delete key is your friend. Use it often. Oh, your friend's friend. Isn't this great? Go ahead, Andrea. I think I just dulled the bell. Oh, don't you love this one, number 5? And it's all about practicing joy. And we all could use a little bit more joy. So Vince Lombardi was super smart. Now, for people who know me in my real life here in Maine, I've been an athlete and a coach for a very long time. And I learned this saying a long time ago. I applied it to basketball coaching, softball coaching, and field hockey coaching. It's also applicable in your everyday life. Practice does not make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Why not practice joy? There's no wrong way to practice joy, so how perfect is that? This means literally jumping up and down. It means celebrating every tiny little thing that you can. And it means playing. As often as you can, do what you love. If it's music, sing it. If it's exercising, do it. If it's gardening, skydiving, algebra, science, I don't care. Take the time to feel joy every day. Now, for some of you, feeling joy is going to be rough doing it daily. For other people, they're ready to step it up. Practice getting to that joyful place once an hour, or maybe in the morning and in the afternoon. But keep bumping it up. Keep practicing. And this ties in with faking it till you make it. Practice the joy. One of my pivotal points in my law of attraction manifestation periods of my life was when I literally started visualizing myself standing on my front porch, opening a check, and seeing that it was $10,000, and then just bouncing and screaming and jumping up and down for joy. I got to the point where I would be driving my car doing this visualization of jumping up and down and I was so joyful I was crying and I was clapping and not really holding on to the wheel anymore. Practice your joy often. Practice your joy often. Now, practicing laughter is a little bit harder, but it's such a fun way to raise your vibration and to get it up and keep it up. I told you this before, God really has a sense of humor, at least in my life. He gifted me and my daughter with a man laugh. Now, my brother actually says I'm the woman of 100 different laughs, but I truly, when I'm having a good belly laugh, it comes out really, really deep and really, really loud. More than once, my daughter and I have stopped people in restaurants. More than once, we're sitting there with our heads shaking, the tears are pouring, and it is so loud in that restaurant, we can't even contain ourselves. That's a true vibration raiser. That is coming from your toes, and just, it's pure joy. So as soon as you can get there and figure out how to practice joy at that level by laughing out loud, there's that LOL thing, do it. Watch a little Carol Burnett, a little Saturday Night Live, whatever it takes to make you laugh. All right. Our next one is affirmations. And it sounds very basic, but I can't really stress enough the importance of them. I have sticky notes all over my house. I highly recommend that you do the same. And I would not recommend that you pick 5 or 6 different affirmations and use them all at once. What I find works a little bit better is to focus on one. Figure out what area of your life really needs the most work, and then develop an affirmation around that. At this point, I would offer that if you have troubles wording affirmations, please feel free to contact me on Facebook and ask me to help you with that. I'll be happy to do it. I'll let you know how to contact me on Facebook a little bit later. But affirmations honestly do work. Don't make them out of reach. Make them attainable to yourself, believable to that little monkey in the mind, and use them. And number 7, the perfect day. Now this is all about writing. And there's a lot of power in the handwritten word. So I highly recommend that you keep a journal. Now, the photos on this slide are actually photos taken at my new home. And I managed to manifest my dream farmhouse. And you may not want a farmhouse. You may want a really fast car, a bigger bank account. You may want new friends, a new relationship. I'm not sure what you need or want. But it's important that you write about it in great detail. Make sure that when you're writing about your perfect day, that you're involved in it, that you are central to the dream. Now remember that, or maybe I should say this first rather than asking you to guess what I'm going to say, our minds work in images. Our brain works in images. Every little letter that you see is a hieroglyphic or a picture. Our mind works in images. Take the time to write in detail what it is that you're after. Now, when I described this farmhouse, this is what it looked like. I wrote about the white clapboard. I wrote about 2 stories. I wrote about the farmer's porch. I wrote about what it felt like to be standing on my farmer's porch. I also wrote what it was like to be standing on the farmer's porch, opening a check for $10,000 and jumping up and down and feeling joy. I described the doorknob under my hand walking into my kitchen and how joyful it made me feel to be standing inside my kitchen, which I then described in full detail. I wrote myself right into every aspect of it. Don't just say you want a brand new fast car that's blue and has 4 doors. Write how you want to feel when you're sitting in that blue car with 4 doors. Every time that you write this, you're raising your vibration. You're getting it up and you're keeping it up. Every time you go back and you read it, you're raising your vibration. Put it all in writing. How do you feel inside of your dream? Isn't that great? Don't forget the details. All right, number 8, know your goal and know your role. We talked about it a little bit when we talked about the 7 steps of manifesting or of law of attraction. What's important is that you know your role inside of the dream, and I kind of just touched on this. Now you can look at these 2 goals, and on the left you'll see it says, I'll be successful at my career. That's really vague. Your goal has to have more to it than that. So how about this? I'll be successful at my career as president and head bean counter for Jack and the Beanstalk Incorporated. I'll enjoy a paycheck of $1,000 per week, and I'll have a corner office with a view of the bean fields. Doesn't that feel good? Don't you just feel your vibration raise if you are the head bean counter at Jack and the Beanstalk? Let's do it again. I'll work hard. Now this, we're kind of talking about, you know, how are we going to get to this successful career? I'm going to work hard. How will you work hard? I'm going to actively participate in educating myself in better bean counting. I'll be proactive in excelling at my work, and I'll be open to receive promotions that advance my bean counting career. Very detailed, very explicit in describing the role within the goal, and it's important that you manage your role within the goal. We're gaining, ladies. We're almost there. This is a hard one. It's mirror work. So this is where you have to look at your own eyes. And I recommend that everybody do this. This, for most people, will bring up a lot of tears. I know that it did for me when I was going through my dark night of the soul, and my counselor / dear friend said, look in the mirror and love yourself. This is what mirror work is about, and I highly recommend that you start every day by learning to look in your eyes and hold your gaze and say it. I love you. You're perfect. You're amazing. You're beautiful, smart, and sexy. Whatever it is. Most people, no, I said that wrong. Not most people. Many people have a hard time to look at themselves in the mirror and truly love that beautiful soul that is inside of all of us. I don't want that to be you. To get it up and keep it up, you need to love yourself no matter where you're at. I don't care if you're dirt poor and living in a cardboard box. You're still perfect. I don't care if you're part of Trump Tower. You're perfect. But you have to believe you're perfect. So do mirror work every day based on wherever you're at. If you are having trouble thinking maybe you're not smart enough, then start there. Look in the mirror and train yourself to believe you're smart and you're enough. And you are enough. And that's one that I used to say, I am enough. I didn't believe I was enough because previously, prior to my divorce, I was everybody else's everything. And when I divorced, I suddenly felt like I was nothing, that I was not enough. When the truth is, I am, and I was. Mirror work came with a lot of tears and a lot of frustration. And it may be that way for you, but still, I'm going to encourage you to do mirror work, please. Last tip, we're almost done. Happy dance. Happy dance. Celebrate. I can't believe that the first time I wrote a children's book, I didn't know that I was supposed to celebrate. I had a coach, and I was telling her that I finally, for the first time in my life, had finished a project because I had this bad habit of UFOs, unfinished objects. I had this really bad habit. And my coach said, oh, weren't you complaining that you always had UFOs? And now you're telling me you finished your first children's book, you illustrated it, and you wrote it, and it's done? What are you doing to celebrate? And I went, what? Celebrate? She goes, hello, go light a candle. Go buy a balloon, open a bottle of wine, do something to celebrate your success. Wow, that was so eye-opening for me. And it may be eye-opening for you too. We need to celebrate the little things because the small celebrations lead to the really big celebrations. And the sooner that we start celebrating, the better. Now, I have a story that I tell often. I'm not going to tell it to you, but we'll talk about celebrations. Just real quickly, one of the very first things I ever manifested was a ham sandwich. And that sounds really, really silly and really hokey, but it was a big deal to me. I manifested it kind of accidentally. Now, had I been on top of my game back then when I manifested that ham sandwich, I would have celebrated that ham sandwich instead of being dumbfounded by it. Had I celebrated it then, I'd have manifested my farmhouse years ago instead of 3 months ago. So, Kool and the Gang got it right. We all should celebrate the good times. I'm not going to sing. I don't want to offend anybody.
There's a comment from Heather whenever you want to hear it.
Oh, Heather, bring it on. I'm ready.
She says, and when we creatively visualize, then what will be in the details? She smiles. When I visualized my present husband coming into my life 33 years ago, I wanted someone to go to temple with me. When Rabbi Norm came into my life, I realized I didn't mean temple every week. Smile. And then she says, your humor is infectious, Tam, and I feel sure divinity smiles with you.
Thank you, Heather. That's Heather Mandel, and I hope that you listen to her replay if you haven't already caught what she had to say. Thank you for sharing that story. Be very specific in your details because, as I said, God does have a sense of humor. Thank you, Heather. So we're celebrating. We're almost there. And Andrea, if you want to advance the slide one more. Bonus tip. Here it is again. We talked about it earlier. It's give thanks. Ultimately, there is one prayer, and it is thank you. Remember that often. If you get nothing else out of this webinar that I have presented to you today, then please remember that, and it's thank you. And as I look at the photo that's on this particular slide, and we talked about vibrations, and I asked you to put your hands together in front of you, there it is. Thank you. All right, so we had 10 tips. There they are, all listed out on the left, and there on the right are the 7 steps for the law of attraction. Get it up and keep it up. I'm talking about your vibration. It's always about getting above a 5, getting to that love vibration. I wish all of you amazing success. You're spectacular. You're extraordinary. You showed up today, and it matters. You're worthy. And I got to tell you, this has been my pleasure. I can't thank you enough for arriving here today. Again, my name is Tam, and Tam I am. You are welcome to find out more about me. This is some of the places that you can find me. I probably would have served you better to say find me at Facebook. I'm there all the time. And to do that, you would go to facebook.com/tam.i.am. Remember, folks, everything counts. Get it up and keep it up. You can have your cake and eat it too. I've given you the key. It's up to you to use it. Andrea, please open it up for any questions that you may have concerning what I've presented.
Okay. First, Tam, I want to type into the chat box. Your Facebook is facebook.com/TamIam?
Tam.I.am.
Tam, okay. So I'm typing that in if you want to see that so you can connect with Tam on Facebook. She's a lot of fun to read her posts and connect with. So it's a great way to do that. And also all of these other ways to connect with her. So I think I've typed that out to the audience. I welcome to have you raise your hands if you want to ask questions or type them into the question or chat menu. We have a couple of comments that have already been written in, so I'm going to try to read those first while the rest of you are thinking. We want this to be interactive. So Penny, I think, writes in, she especially likes the concept of meeting adversity with a neutral mind. keeping an even mind in all things. It can be hard, but it is important that we neutralize negative feelings and transform them to tolerance and compassion. And she thanks you for that.
Oh, Penny, you're welcome, and you're absolutely right. Even though I really maintain a high vibration, when I'm low, my goal is always to get to neutral as quickly as I can. Sometimes I stay at neutral a little longer than I wish, but being neutral is so much better than being angry, depressed, frustrated, and so on. So you're welcome, and I'm glad that you got that tip.
Okay, and then it's Lois, I think, writes in. I don't know if you have 2 comments or 1, but, it's our thoughts and feelings the same thing. You talk about happy thoughts. Are they the same as happy feelings? What's the difference between the 2?
Happy thoughts bring you happy feelings. Happy thoughts vibrate high, and you can't have a happy thought and be negative. So they're one and the same, in my mind. Other panelists who are on, if you want to step in, you can. I'd love your opinion as well. But to me, a happy thought is also a happy feeling.
I think it goes both ways. I think it's which came first, and a never-ending circle, just more happiness.
The chicken and the egg.
And then there's a comment from Lisa Capehart. This has been a very fun presentation, great fun and easy law of attraction tips, yay. So I just want to comment on that. Thank you, Lisa. I just wanted to comment before you do. Sorry, Tim, you can comment in a second, that you've offered so much tips that, I think a lot of people are going to want to listen to the replay. We are going to get that out, even if you've heard it, just to get back to hear all this great information and see it, all together. So anyway, back to you, Dan.
That's fine. No, I do have a tendency to offer a lot of tips at once. I want to encourage people who are listening that I do have a newsletter. I call them Cake Eater Tips, Sweet Life Cake Eater Tips. I typically send out once a week. Sometimes it's less than that, so I'm not going to overwhelm you. If you want to get a tip a week from me, feel free. On Facebook, I write Cake Eater Tips quite often. So join me in the fun. To me, it's all about LOA and LOL. You've got to have fun. That is going to keep your vibration up.
And then Jackie writes in getting back to neutral, like 5, if one is hurting really bad about something, don't we have to work it out of the system in order to not have it come back up?
Oh, sure. I never tell anybody to just pretend it isn't there. I mean, you fake it till you make it when you're working on surface stuff. But when you have, remember we talked about belief systems, when you're not manifesting what you asked for, it's because there's a belief within you that needs to be worked out. For example, you're talking about when you're angry or below a 5, you have to deal with those things. Sometimes it's kicking and screaming and getting it out of your body, as long as you're not affecting other people. The key is to deal with it. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not there. It's not going away. Deal with it and then quickly move on to the next best thing, whatever that may be, from complete fear up to depression, from depression up to anger, from anger to frustration, from frustration to neutrality. And that's your goal. At least get to neutrality as quickly as you can, but do the work.
And a comment I have, what I love about your descriptions of helping people change their vibrations, it's not just a matter of saying a statement, using an affirmation, but you really talk about, even unconsciously, about really getting into the whole feeling of it and changing everything. So when you're sending out an affirmation, you're getting yourself in the whole vibration of that feeling, as though you really have changed your mood, and by that time you really have.
Exactly. I probably should have called this presentation Fake It Till You Make It or something like that, because there is some degree of that the whole way through, but you can't write a beautiful affirmation for yourself and not feel a little better when you're done. It's all about the feeling. It always, always is.
And I think there's another question. I'm not sure. I was just curious what your favorite, or your 1 or 2 favorite ways to change your vibration are.
I would say, instead of sharing my favorite, I'm going to share one of the easiest that almost everybody can do. There's two of them actually, and it has been scientifically proven. And no, I'm not a quantum physicist, but I will play one on Bravo Network if they want me to. What you can do, put on music. It is scientifically shown that music will change your vibration. It will help you to adjust to the next best level, whatever that is for you. Patting a dog is the same thing. If you have an animal or a pet, do that. Maybe if you don't have an animal or a pet, look at photos of one. That will soften those negative, sharp energies that are around you. So I would highly recommend for people who are really blue or having struggling to get out of where they're at, do those two things. My favorite thing to raise my vibration is the whole happy dance, clap and bounce thing. I literally do that a lot. I mean, my hands are in front of my face, I clap, you probably can hear me now, and I bounce, and I kind of like make fists with my hands and I shake them up and down, and I get really excited. Of course, part of that is just my personality. I have probably an overabundance of energy, but it really jazzes me to bounce up and down and celebrate something that I haven't got yet. And that's the key. I still haven't gotten a check in the mail for $10,000, but I totally expect to. So I clap and I scream as though it's here. It raises my vibration. I'm pretty sure that check is on the way.
Awesome. Great presentation, Tam. If if anyone still has questions for Tam, wants to contact her or connect with her in any other way, you have several ways to do it. You will be getting the replay link for so you can review this again. Thank you all for tuning in and being here for the presentation, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And thank you, Tam.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you everybody for showing up. You're well on your way. Get it up and keep it up.
Thank you.